Emotions Part 2. Not as many people who are willing to make mistakes to understand what's consciously occurring in the world. The apartment building, part of the world. And well, gosh darn, now the world is easier to figure out. Keep all flashlights pointed up, bottles down. Shoes clean. And also, the window, like the window and the pottery, like don't touch the bearded veterans from wars. Pottery object on his table he put next to his friend's door down the hall, who's a woman. And the smoker macho aware Steve telling violently scary window. Open with caution. Close gently. And then there's these other kinds of uneasiness, worry, fear, distrust, and grumpiness. Emotions get explained with color sometimes. Emotions get people really focused, concentrated. Scared. The intensity of the light in the hallway and the dangerous glass in the other hand. Fear. Uneasiness, danger. And then aggression. From the person holding those in their hands, me. And part of why I talk about tobacco so much in my videos has to do with applying to medical school. And alcohol also, and a little bit about marijuana, but otherwise, drugs, crystal meth, crack. Not once I've seen any people be happy with those decisions. Not once have I sat next to someone who doesn't have a problem with consciousness. My oldest memory with drugs, besides growing up in Arizona with like some cheap marijuana from the Mexican drug dealers from Mexico, was with a man I worked with at Pyramid Ale House over by the Mariners Stadium. His name was Cedric. He played jazz, made really pretty music, had a wife who was a teacher in San Diego, in tons of debt. He always said she had, always talked about it. Was a really tall African American man. Probably my I just didn't know a lot of like African American, you know, cultural people. The black community in Arizona is mostly like Mexican and Hispanic. So he was kind of one of the first people I met out here. Besides the scariness from a bartender at the first place I worked when I moved here to Seattle called Winners, and had the NAACP called because the bartender was saying stupid stuff and I didn't know what was going on. I just moved here, and I wasn't racist. I didn't know, but I guess he was making fun of the guy, and the guy thought that I was a part of the discussion. Later, I met Cedric, and he was a recovered crack addict. He said he used to just go around Seattle high on crack cocaine. Causing trouble, getting in trouble, making his life difficult. And then he, I think, met his wife, or there was some kind of like a shift where he got conscious and was like, man, music. And I think why music for me has made sense too, because when I had the chordoma surgery and then the proton radiation treatment, and before getting assaulted by the man who dang near killed me, he was as close to evil as I've ever been near. Mostly because he took that young woman from high school. She was 17 and he was in his 30s. And had declared her his girl. But she was, polyamorous. That's the description they that's what she said. She's polyamorous, and so it's like, oh heck no. I got a hard enough time taking a girl out on a date, let alone like 5 girls on picnics. It's a lot of sandwiches. Cedric gave me the kind of like spiritual emotions. Like he was always good with like helping me figure out the restaurant, some of the people, because I'm mildly autistic, and I didn't know like normal stuff everyone else did, like to be managers and stuff, but I wanted to. I read business books my whole life, but I've never been good at like, knowing like faces and knowing like emotions sometimes, like stupid with flashlights. And other people I've been with along the way who have been into, drugs and alcohol, had tough marriages. A tough marriage mostly from one person, and a lot of other people who see the sun, like now, coming up out of the bottom of the sky, and don't get how much the image can do for the world. Growing food, helping people get to work and not have flashlights and getting arrested for them. Because there's a drug addict who's been on the street all night, hungry and afraid and terrified and freezing cold, and they decide to stab the person with the flashlight because they think they're a police officer. And the sun slowly rising during difficult days like surgery and radiation treatment, not being able to sleep from the discomfort and the pain medicine and the nastiness, the smell, the skin. And sounds from the machine. They used to shoot my head with a laser beam.